do organic not because the price is better, but because it's the right thing to do for the soil, for society, and for yourself. My name is Carmen Fernholtz. My wife Sally and I farm about 450 acres certified organic near Madison, Minnesota. Madison is located very western edge of the state, and we grow generally the crops in the area: corn, soybeans, small grains that'll vary from year to year, wheat, oats, barley, and some alfalfa. When you were here earlier today, you caught me out in the field. My nephew and brother had just brought the combine out, and we were going to take our first go at harvesting kernza. Well, kernza is what we call a perennial wheat. Kernza is a miniature wheat seed. And when I say miniature, yeah, it's maybe an eighth the size of a regular wheat kernel. To me, the biggest piece here is that we can keep the soil covered 12 months out of the year, something growing in there 12 months out of the year, minimizing the soil disturbance, captivating a lot of carbon, and just moving closer and closer to emulating nature. You know, there's a lot of talk out there now about how organic is sort of becoming industrialized. And I'm nervous about that. I really am, because back in the early 70s when I was telling you this earlier today when we were talking, I was actually helping write some of the rules in organics, and eventually the government adapted some of these things and put them into the standards. But organics was always founded on principles as well as production practices. And to me, the principle is based on Wes Jackson's famous quote, and it's probably not his original, but anyway, I always credit him with it: eyes to acres ratio. And we need to increase instead of decrease the eyes to acres ratio. And that's the principle that I've always wanted to live on. And so it's not free. It costs something. But look at what you're doing then in protecting the environment, enhancing the communities, and everybody just does better. Really today, when I look back over the years I've been doing it, I'm starting to see some pressures that I'm a little nervous about. I've always said over and over and over, organics is 95% integrity. But another good friend of mine says, expect what you inspect. And so if we're not doing proper oversight, human nature says we're going to try and cut corners. Again, when we look at the standards, and we look at, and I'll be real direct here, we look at the standards of hydroponics and we look at the housing for livestock, those standards are not what we had originally intended when we started putting together these standards that we wanted. Access to outdoors, we wanted that. Crops growing in the soils is what we wanted. And when we start cutting those corners, it doesn't stop there. Patrick Leahy said when the organic bill was signed, he said, organics is a choice. It's not a directive, it's a choice. And so you as a farmer and you as a consumer have this choice. And you can choose or not choose it. And so because it's a choice, we can keep those standards strict. We can maintain that strictness, because if you don't like them, then you find a different source of your food. But this is what we want. This is the choice that we've made. You know, a lot of topic today is, climate change and what's causing it and who's responsible. With perennializing the landscape, we're taking a lot of that carbon out of the air and storing it back down in the soil. And if we look at some of the kernza roots, for example, they're down 8, 10, 12 feet. Those roots are down there forever, and they've taken carbon down there with them. And most scientists tell you, yeah, it's the increase of CO2 in the air that's causing climate change. So we can pull that back out, put it in the ground. It's a win-win-win-win-win. It's a win for the farmer, it's a win for the environment, it's a win for the consumer, it's a win for the soil.